Hello, everybody. Thank you, Felicia. I'm so excited to have all of you guys here today. My name is McKenna Blanthorne, and I'm going to be your host for today. Today, we are doing an intro to Silhouette class. So if you're a new Silhouette user, this class is perfect for you, or maybe you've had your Silhouette machine for a long time, but you're just not familiar with how to use it. This class is also perfect for you. So I want to know kind of who you are in these groups. So are you new to Silhouette? Do you own a machine? Are you thinking about purchasing a machine? So go ahead and drop that in the chat for me, just so I kind of know how to direct this class today. And we do have Christina here to help us with questions. She's here in the room, so if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat and she'll verbally ask them to me so we can answer them. And then we also have Kelly here, who's amazing, and she is going to be able to answer your questions in the chat too, in case we miss those. All right, okay. Well, it doesn't look like, oh, let's see. Deb recently purchased a Silhouette machine. Perfect, Deb. We're so excited for you to be here with us today. And then Kay received a Cameo for Christmas 6 years ago, and she hasn't used it yet. Kay, we're so happy that you decided to join us today, and let's get that Silhouette machine out of the box. Okay, and then Joe hasn't used it in a few years, but she has one. Okay, awesome. You guys all joined the perfect class. This class is going to go super slow today. There's going to be plenty of time for you guys to ask questions, so don't hesitate if you have any questions. And we're just going to keep things really, really basic. We are going to learn how to set up Silhouette Studio. We're going to learn how to purchase a design from the Silhouette Design Store. And then we're going to simply learn how to resize that design and then cut that design. So everything that we're going to be doing today is super, super simple, super easy. Like I said, I'm going to go slow. If you need me to repeat anything, just go ahead and let me know in the chat, and Christina will help me know if I need to repeat something. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to take one more look. Jen has had hers for a while, but she's learning. And then Adriana has had hers for a week. It was a gift. Okay, perfect. Awesome, guys. I'm super excited that we have a smaller class today. Last time I taught this class, there were like 80 people. And so there were a lot of questions, and I hope that we got to answer all of them, but it was a little bit crazy. Kelly was very busy in the chat. But today it's really, really a smaller group. So hopefully we'll be able to just relax and feel like we're in an actual class together. And just feel free to ask any questions that you guys might have. So to start out, I want to talk about the different Silhouette machines that we have here at Silhouette. A lot of you guys probably have the Cameo, which is the machine that I'm using today. I'm using the Cameo 4, which is the most recent Cameo 4 or Cameo model. But I know like somebody said that they bought theirs 6 Christmases ago, and everything that we're going to be doing today is almost exactly the same with the older Cameo models. And there are a lot of other intro classes on the internet on our YouTube channel for older models, but pretty much everything is going to be exactly the same, whether you're using the Cameo or the portrait machine. And a lot of it is even the same for the Cameo Pro machine, which is the large 24-inch machine. So this is the Cameo 4 model. It's our most popular model. It cuts 12 inches in width and 10 feet in length, up to 10 feet in length. It's perfect for paper and vinyl and heat transfer, which are the most popular materials, but you can also use it to cut specialty materials like foam core and foam, craft foam, and fabric and felt and things like that also. So this is our most versatile machine in terms of the amount of materials that it can cut. We also have the Portrait 3. Christina, could you grab that for me? Thank you. Okay, so this is our little model. This is the Portrait 3. It's super cute and tiny. It can cut 9 inches in width and up to 10 feet in length as well. This is the perfect machine for you if you have a small crafting space or if you don't have a dedicated crafting space. This is really, really easy to just pop on your kitchen counter or to pull out in, a small desk area. And a lot of our clients or our customers that use the Portrait 3 will use it because it's portable. Also, it fits inside a backpack, which I think is really, really awesome. So if you're taking it to like a client's house, if you're doing design work or organization or things like that, the Portrait 3 is perfect. And we also sell 9-inch vinyl here at Silhouette, so you don't have to cut down your vinyl to use with this machine. So that's the Portrait 3. We also have the Cameo Plus, which is a 15-inch model. So it looks like the Cameo 4, but instead of cutting 12 inches in width, it can cut up to 15 inches in width. And then we also have the Cameo Pro, which is the Cameo 4, but it can cut up to 24 inches in width. So it's a very, very large machine. And we do sell all of those models at Michael's. So if you don't have a machine yet, or if you're thinking of adding to your little Silhouette family, those are our different machines that we have at Michael's. So I want to go ahead and dive in now to the Silhouette software. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And then, oh, sorry guys, I just got to allow the screen share. I'm not sure. Brian, do you know where to do that on my Mac? Oh, perfect. Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so I think we're good now. So when you open the Silhouette software, this is what it's going to look like. So we have like a toolbar across the top. We have some tabs up here, which are the different kind of windows that we have that we will open and be using. And then you have some tools over here on the left side, and you also have some tools over here on the right side. And these are all different panels that will open up different things that you can do in Silhouette Studio. Today, I'm showing you the basic version of Silhouette Studio. And like I said, the only tool we're really going to be doing today, or the only software, I guess it's not really even a tool, it's more just a technique, is resizing our design. But we have so many classes that go over all of these tools. If you upgrade your software for a one-time payment, you can also receive more tools and more panels just to be able to do more things in Silhouette Studio. So that is an option as well on our website that you can check out also. And then perfect, Christina put the link to the software. So if you don't have the software, I know a lot of you said you're brand new to Silhouette, opening your machine for the first time. So go ahead and click that link and download your software. And when you open it, it's going to default to the Cameo 4 settings. So this is a Cameo size mat, and then it's 12 by 12 media. And today I'm going to show you how to set it up if you used a different machine last time, or if when your software opens, it doesn't look like the Cameo. So you'll just come over here to the page setup, and the page setup window usually pops up automatically right here when you open Silhouette Studio. But if it doesn't pop up automatically, you're just going to press this very top little page icon, and it will open the page setup panel. And then we're just going to go in order 1, 2, 3, 4 to set up our page. So you will select the machine that you're using from the drop-down menu. You'll select the feed type, and 90% of the time, it's just going to be the auto manual feed type, unless you're using our new auto sheet feeder accessory, then you would select that. But then you'll select the cutting mat that you're using from the drop-down menu, and then you'll also select the media size that you're using, like if you're using letter size paper, or if you're using your own media, which we are going to do today, we can actually change the size of the width and the length of the media, if that's something we're interested in doing. And you don't have to, but it just helps us know how big we can actually make our design on the mat. So that is the basis of the page setup. I just want to ask, does anybody have any questions about setting up your mat or setting up your Silhouette Studio? I'm just going to wait a couple minutes, and I apologize. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm starting to get over it, but I still have a little bit of a stuffy nose. Okay, it doesn't look like we have okay, so Deb says that her version is crashing. and she downloaded the latest version. So Deb, I think the thing that I found most of the time when that is occurring for me is that my laptop isn't, or my computer that I'm using isn't also up to date. So make sure that your computer is up to date as well as your software is up to date. And if you're still having issues with it, I would go ahead and email our customer support team, and Christina can put that email in the chat for you. I think it's, off the top of my head, I think it's support@silhouetteamerica.com. So if you're still having that issue after you do that, just go ahead and email them and they should be able to help you with that too. Perfect. And then Sandra said, not at this point, I am new and just installed my software yesterday. Perfect. So like I said, we're going to be going really, really slow today. So up to this point, it seems pretty easy, right? I know that the software can seem a little bit overwhelming. The first time that you use it, you open it up and there's just all these panels and tools. But I just want to make this really, really simple, concise, and go really slow for you guys. So now I want to show you guys how to purchase a design from the Silhouette Design Store. So there's two different ways you can navigate to the design store. The easiest way, if you already have your software open, is to come up here to this little blue tab and just click Store. And that will open your web browser and take you to the Silhouette Design Store. You also can type silhouettedesignstore.com into your web browser, and that's the second way to navigate to the design store. So also a very easy way to locate that. So this is what the design store looks like when you open it up. There's always these banners that show different sales that are going on or different promotions. Right now, we're doing a 12 Days of Christmas free design of the day. So make sure you grab all of these designs until December 25th. And they're different every day. This one's so fun. It's a countdown days until Christmas. So you can grab that one. And then we also have a holiday sale going on. I love this little Santa box. I actually made that a couple years ago for my mom and my sisters, and I filled them with some little treats and they loved it. And it was super easy to make actually too. So go ahead and check that out, the holiday sale. We also have a multi-artist sale with Karina Gardner, Lonnie Harris, Sweet Elise, Blush Fonts, and Erica Digital Designs. So a lot of the time we have these multi-artist sales, and these artists' designs are on sale. So go ahead and check that out. And then we always have a free design of the week, aside from the free design of the day for the 12 Days of Christmas. And these designs switch out every Tuesday. And there's a new free design every single Tuesday. So always make sure to watch the social media to see what that design is. And downloading these designs is just a great way to build up your library without purchasing any designs. And this one is obviously a 3D flower, but sometimes there are designs that have like parts to them. Like I think a couple weeks ago when I taught this class, it was a Christmas phrase, but then it had some little Christmas trees around it. And as you learn in Silhouette Studio, you can actually take the Christmas trees out of that full design if you just need like a Christmas tree design, rather than having to come into the store and buy a full Christmas tree design. So those are just some helpful little tips that I like to share. And then lastly, right now, we have this Jungle Party Craft Along series. And this is actually a tutorial series that I've been filming with some free designs that come with machines that are purchased. And there are 12 free designs, and then they each have different videos teaching you how to make different types of projects. Like we go from start to finish, how to create a banner, how to create gift boxes, how to create an invitation for a party. And obviously these are all Jungle Party themed ones that I've been doing and filming, but you can use any party theme that you have for this series. So if you're new to Silhouette, I highly recommend this Craft Along series as well, and you can find those on our YouTube channel. So always make sure to look through these banners just to see what's going on in the design store. And then I always like to go to the free tab up at the top also, because you'll see the free designs. These are those jungle designs that I was just telling you about. But then also there's some other designs that are always free. And then there's also free with purchase designs. So as long as you purchase a single design, if you add these to your cart, you can get these designs for free as well. So always make sure to visit this page and just stock up on these little free designs, and they switch out periodically as well. So that's the Silhouette Design Store. We have a couple other what would these be called? Categories along the top. So we have a new category where you can check out new designs that have just been added. Bundles are where you can buy multiple designs at a time for cheaper. And then I was just opening the chat up. We have artists, so you can search by artists. Some of my favorite artists are Lori Whitlock and Karina Gardner. And Sarah Hurley. Those are some really fun artists. Nick Squirrel that you can check out. And then we have deals. So daily deals and weekly deals are just cheaper designs. And then you can also buy design credits. So this is kind of just the overview of the design store. Does anybody have any questions about the design store? So it looks like Joe is having some trouble getting into the design store. If it's not working from your software, Joe, I just recommend opening a browser. If you're using Safari, maybe you could try opening Chrome or a different browser and then just typing silhouettedesignstore.com and it should open up for you. Perfect. Kelly put the link to the free design page also. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any questions. So what I want to show you now is how easy it is to find a free design. Or not a free design, just a design in the design store. Depending on what you're looking for, we have over 300,000 designs in the Silhouette Design Store. So there really is something for everybody. And I want to stop my screen share actually to show you what we're going to be doing today. So I have this cute little holiday easel right here. It's a little picture frame, so it has a little clip that you could put like a picture on or something. But I'm going to use vinyl to actually put a Christmas like phrase or item like design on the back of the easel. So that being said, does anybody have a recommendation of something I should search for in the design store? If you do, just go ahead and put it in there. We could do like a poinsettia or a snowman or an ornament or a happy holidays Christmas phrase. And Patricia, I see, how does affect that is not a commercial license for the free elements? Right. So let me go ahead and go to the free because I'm actually not sure about that. I think yeah, so if you do want this design and you're going to use it for commercial work, you'll just click the commercial and then you do have to purchase the commercial license for that. But that's just a one-time purchase. So perfect. Yes, Kelly, perfect. All right, does anybody have a design that they want me to search for? If not, I'll come up with something. I'm just going to... Okay, it doesn't look like anybody does. That's okay. Oh, a reindeer. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and do a reindeer then. So I'm going to go ahead and just come up here to the search bar, and then I'm going to type reindeer. And you can see there's so many fun designs that pop up. Today, we are just going to be doing a one color vinyl design. So I'm not going to do like a layered or a two color design like this one right here. I'm probably going to do something like this little cute reindeer. She's adorable. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that one. And this one also has like a good amount of weeding, so I can show you how to weed and have some weeding tips also. So when you find the design that you want, you're just going to click that design and then you're going to click this little blue shopping cart and then you're going to click the little blue arrow. And I actually need to sign into my design store account. So I'm just going to do that real quick. Oh, it's usually really fast. Okay, perfect. So I just signed in and we don't need this jungle party background right now. So this is what your cart will look like. It will tell you the total down here. You'll be able to see everything. If you're using the commercial, if you're wanting to sell this, you'll want to click the commercial license, and that's just a one-time payment of $2. You can sell it as many times as you want. But that's just how much that license is. And then if you're using a different cutting machine, if you're not using a Silhouette machine, you'll want to download the SVG file. But if you're using a Silhouette machine, you'll just need the studio file, which is the just the normal file type that you're purchasing. So you don't need to click anything special. And then we'll just come down here to the checkout button, and then it will have you put your password in one more time. And then you'll just click submit. And when you purchase a file in Silhouette Studio, as long as you're logged in up here, it will automatically sync to your library in Silhouette Studio. So now to locate this design, I'm back in Silhouette Studio. I just closed my browser. We're just going to come to the third tab over here on the top, which says library. And then it says that it synced at 1:22 p.m., which was just barely. But I always just like to press this little button right now just to sync it one more time. And then I'm going to come up here to the search bar. As you guys can see, I have 1,476 designs. So I have a ton of designs. So I could scroll through these designs looking for the reindeer, but that can be a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to come up here to the search bar and kind of keyword search my reindeer. So I'm just going to start typing reindeer. You can see I have a couple of really fun ones. I actually used this one to create some felt ornaments a couple of years ago, and it's one of my favorite projects I've done to date. They turned out so cute. But this is the reindeer that we're using today. So I'm going to go ahead and double click this reindeer to open it in Silhouette Studio. So you just double click it, and it opens up in your document. And as you can see right now, this reindeer is kind of on the larger side. It is 9 inches tall and almost 7 inches wide, which is a little bit big for our easel. So I'm going to stop my screen share real quick. And I'm going to show you guys kind of how I decide how large to make my project. So I'm just going to take the easel right here. And then my area that I'm going to be working on is under this little clasp. So it's like just under this. I don't want to make it like the full size of the little sled. So a tip that I like to do is I like to take my mat that comes with your machine, and it has a 1-inch grid on it. So because it has a 1-inch grid, I can actually just take it and lay it on top and kind of use it as a ruler to get a good idea of the size that I should make my design. So this sled itself is 6 inches wide. So I'm going to make my reindeer 4 inches wide. And then I'm going to see, as long as that isn't more than, I don't want it to be more than 4.5 inches tall. And I'm just kind of guesstimating when I look at this. So it's not like an exact science or anything, but it's just an easy way to just use your materials that you already have out to decide how big to make your design. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into Silhouette Studio. And like I said, I didn't want this to be, it is taller than it is wider. So since it's taller, I'm just going to click my design, and then I'm going to use this width and height up here to resize my design. So I'm just going to go ahead and type 4.5 into the height. And since this little padlock right here is closed, it scales the reindeer to the same width. So I don't have to worry about the design squishing or stretching or anything like that. An alternate way to resize this is just by holding down on the corners and dragging, and that will also resize it to be the size that you want. So like I said, I want it to be 4.5 inches tall. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this up to my corner up here. And today I'm actually going to be using a scrap of vinyl. So since this is like 4.5 inches tall and 3 inches wide, I'm just going to make a 5x5 square of vinyl to cut my piece with. So I'm going to go ahead and change my width and my height to 5 inches each. And this is just a great way, as you can see, so this is a little bit lower than it is higher. And as long as it's in the 5x5 square, it's not a huge deal. But I'm just going to go ahead and kind of center it in my piece of vinyl that I'm using. And when I changed the size, my screen automatically zoomed really far in. But if you want to zoom in or zoom out in Silhouette Studio, you can use these little magnifying glasses up here. So I'm just going to zoom out so you can see the whole page again. And just one little helpful tip, you just don't want your design overlapping with this little red border. The red border is the cut border, so it won't cut anything that is overlapping. The blade won't reach that far on the mat. So just make sure that you're far away from the red line. You can be close to the red line, just don't overlap it. So this is actually all we have to do to set up our design in Silhouette Studio. Does anybody have any questions? I stopped the screen share because we're going to set up our mat now. But if you have any questions in Silhouette Studio, if you need me to repeat any of that, I'm more than happy to do that as well. So just go ahead and put any questions. Oh yes, Kelly, I'm actually going to show that. That's a good point. So Kelly said, just to make sure that this little button down here is checked. By default, it should be checked when you open Silhouette Studio, but if it's not showing up, just make sure to click it so we can see that red border. Thank you, Kelly. Perfect. So now I'm going to make that 5x5 square of vinyl to put on my mat right here to cut. So I'm just going to move our little sled easel to the side. And then I have some various Christmas colors right here of vinyl. I have white, I have dark green, red, lime green, and black. So I want you guys to pick what color I cut this reindeer as. Maybe you guys want to see the easel too. To pick which color. So just somebody go ahead and pick the color in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Sorry, I think there is a little bit of a lag, so I'm just gonna wait a second. All right, okay, Christina said red, so we're gonna do red. Oh, perfect, and somebody else said red too, so that'll be very, very cute with our easel and the red bow, I think. So I have my roll of vinyl right here, and when you purchase the Silhouette vinyl, it actually has a 1-inch square backing on the back as well, just kind of like the mat. So you can cut your vinyl to be the exact size that you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. There actually is a 1/2 inch along the top as well. So I'm just there. It's going to be a little bit bigger than 5x5, but as long as it's not smaller, we're okay. So I'm just going to count down 5 squares and then count over 5 full squares as well. And like I said, if you have scraps of vinyl, this is a really great way to use your scraps as well. So now that we have this piece of vinyl, I'm just going to go ahead and line it up in the corner. And then I'm just going to push the computer a little bit to the side so I can show you how to load the machine. And I'm actually going to make sure that my machine is connected. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, yes. Perfect. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to load the blade first. So a fun little tip that I always like to show when I teach this class is that the Cameo 4 actually has a blade storage compartment that you can store your blade when you're not using it. So that's just a fun little tip. I know one of our other teachers that we've had teach this class, she said that her and her daughter actually leave each other notes in this little compartment too, which I think is kind of fun. So just know that that is there. A lot of Silhouette users don't even know that it's there. So I'm just going to pull up this up so I can see the chat also. And then to load the machine, this is the Auto Blade, which is the blade that comes with all of our newer model machines. If you have an older Cameo, the Auto Blade does not work in your machine. So you'll be using the older ratchet blade or the manual blade. But this is the Auto Blade. The Auto Blade's super great because it has this auto detection along the back. So the machine reads it and it knows that the Auto Blade is in there. And so you just select what material you're using in Silhouette Studio, and then it will automatically adjust the correct blade depth that you need for cutting that material. So all of our tools have either a 1 or a 2 on them, which I know is kind of hard to see on the camera, but you can totally see it when you're holding your blade. And that just means that if it has a 1, it goes in this first carriage right here. And if it has a 2, which is where you will store or where you'll put like your specialty blades, like your rotary blade or your craft blades or things like that. And those go in the second carriage. But most of the time you're going to be using the auto blade, and that will go in this first carriage right here. So to insert the auto blade, you'll just pull this little tab out fairly lightly, and then you will push the blade down in and then hold it down with your finger, and then you'll kind of slightly push up and then push in, and it will kind of do like a double click. And that's how it locks into place. So just make sure that it's nice and secure and it's not wiggling or anything when you insert your blade. And the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to load your mat. Sorry, my piece of vinyl just kind of bubbled a little bit, so I'm just smoothing it out. I'm just going to take. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to load the machine. So in order to load the machine, we're going to press the upward arrow over here, and then we're going to line the edge of our mat up with this gray line and arrows right here. And that will allow us to load with both of our hands so we can feed the mat and it gets a nice even load. So I'm just going to press that button until it starts blinking. And then I'm going to line the edge up with that line over on this side, and just wait a couple seconds and it will load it. Perfect. There's an auto sensor that is underneath the material that's right next to the gray line over here, and it will recognize when there is a mat or material on top of it, and that's how it will automatically load. And as you can see, when we are able to load with both hands, we get a nice even feed all the way across so that it's going to be pulling our mat the same the entire time that we're cutting. So now let's go ahead and hop back into Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to start my screen share again, and everything is ready in the design panel. And then we're going to go over to the send panel. And as you will see, there is a red line around the reindeer, which means that it's going to cut. And then there's also these little punch marks. And these were put in by the artist. So a lot of the time when you purchase a design from the design store, it won't have these little blue circles. And the blue circles just make it easier for weeding. But we are not going to be doing the blue circles today. And we don't have a punch tool inserted either. And I'm actually going to ask Kelly how to turn off the blue circles, because this is actually something I've never encountered before. So, oh yes, yeah, that's what, yes, Christina's right. Okay, so we're gonna open carriage 2 right here, and I'm just going to click my design, and then I'm just going to click no punch. Perfect, thank you, Christina. And so if that's happening to you, if those punch marks are showing up but you don't have a punch tool in, just open carriage 2 and then select no punch, and you'll see now for carriage 1 we don't have a red outline around our reindeer. So all we need to do for that is we just need to click the reindeer and then select cut, and the punch lines are back. Sorry, what was that? Right here, weed settings. Oh, okay, yes. All right, I think this is an update because I've never noticed this. Okay, so we're just going to turn our punch dots off. Perfect. Okay, thank you, Christina. All right, does anybody have any questions? I know that was okay. On the back of the mat. The blue paper. Okay, so this mat actually comes with a blue cover, so I'm not sure if that's what you mean about the mat. But it probably is just an older mat. But that is totally good too. The mats are all the same. Yeah, just go ahead and peel off the, here, I'll stop my screen share so I can show you. So when your mat comes, it will have this blue paper cover, which I think is what you're talking about. And this is just a cover that makes it so you don't have to, like, it just makes it so your mat stays cleaner and less dusty and doesn't get like hair and craft supplies stuck to it, so it stays sticky for longer. So keep this blue paper, but just simply peel it off when you're using the mat, and then put it back on when you're all done cutting. So I hope that answers your question. All right, and Kelly actually said that the punch tool shouldn't even show up unless you have the punch tool inserted. So most of the time, you're not even gonna have to worry about that little weed settings thing. And like I said, I've never seen it before, and I've used the silhouette machine almost every day for like over 2 years. So that just is probably a little software glitch, so we need to get taken care of. But so you can see that we have our machine connected down here. And then I'm actually just going to come down here to send. Oh, we actually need to make sure we have the right material, which we don't. So in carriage 1, you're just going to select the material that you're using. So from this drop down menu, so I am using vinyl. So I'm just going to start typing vinyl. And this, I believe, is actually matte vinyl. So I'm just going to click matte vinyl. And then I always like to cut my vinyl on a 2. I've just found that for me, it's easier to weed. So I just changed the blade depth from a 1 to a 2. You're welcome to just keep it on a 1 and just try and cut it on a 1. And as long as it comes out well and it cut deep enough, you're totally good. That's just personal preference for me, that I like to cut it on a 2. And like I said, I've used my silhouette machine almost every day for a couple of years now, and I never have a problem when I cut it on a 2 personally. So that's all we have to do to set up our machine. We're not going to change the force and we're not going to change the speed. So we can just come down here to the bottom and click send. Oh, okay. Sometimes, so it didn't read that I loaded the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and just reload it real quick. Oh, whoops. I clicked the wrong one. Oh no. Okay, it was reading the wrong machine. We have a lot of machines in the office, and it's just sometimes, since I have my Bluetooth turned on, it connected to a different machine. So I'm just going to go ahead now. It says ready right here. If your machine isn't connected, you can just do what I did and click this little icon down here, and then select the machine you're using, and then we'll just press send. Yes, and Kelly said 2 for vinyl almost always works better on the Cameo 4, and that's just my experience too. It does cut for me when I cut it on a 1, but it sometimes is just a little bit stickier when I'm trying to weed it. So that's why I always choose to do a 2, because it doesn't cut through the backing, but it just seems to get a little bit cleaner of a cut when I do that. So does anybody have any questions while we are cutting our vinyl? If you have any questions about machines or different projects you can do, we have a whole bunch of projects behind here that we've made. These were one of my favorite projects that I made last Christmas. So they were paper. I made these on the Cameo Pro, so that's a very large project. But then they're decorated with vinyl. And then we also have just some different projects up here. This is a really fun paper ornament. So you can do all kinds of things with your silhouette machine. Okay. All right, so Adriana, it sounds like your blade depth is just set too deep. So make sure that it is just on a 1 or a 2, and it shouldn't be cutting all the way down to your mat. If it's just on a 1 or a 2, but sometimes we just accidentally, like when we're cutting a different material, then we just don't adjust the blade depth or something. So just let me share my screen real quick. just make sure you have vinyl selected up here in the drop down menu and that your blade depth is at a 1 or a 2. You definitely don't want it any higher than a 1 or a 2. So just double check those things. And then if that doesn't solve the problem, go ahead and email customer support and they should be able to help you. But those are the biggest like troubleshooting things that I've noticed that I've done. And I just don't even notice that my blade depth is deeper or that I haven't selected the right material. And then that fixes the problem for me. Yeah. And Kelly made a good point too. If it's an auto blade, make sure that it's adjusting correctly at the start. So you'll notice that it comes over here and it does a really hard click and that will reset it to 0. And then it should do a couple little soft clicks to adjust to a 1 or a 2. But sometimes if your auto blade isn't adjusting, if it isn't going all the way back down to 0 with the hard click, that means you just need to open up your blade and clean it out. And there's a couple of videos on our YouTube channel that show you how to do that. But it is a little bit difficult the first few times you do it. So just go ahead and check that out. And customer support can also help you kind of step by step go through that process as well. Because that is a good point, Kelly. That is something that also happens often to me. All right, so this just finished cutting. So what we're gonna do, every time my design finishes cutting, before I unload it, I go ahead and I try to weed out a single piece just to make sure that it cut correctly. So I'm just gonna come and it looks like this little foot came out perfectly. And the reason that I like to do that is because if it wasn't coming out well, if it was kind of sticking, I could send this for another pass and it would cut in the exact same place. If I unload it and reload it, it might not cut in the exact same place. So I would have to get a new piece of vinyl. But as long as I don't unload the machine, I can send it for another pass and everything's going to be totally fine. So it cut perfectly. So I'm actually just going to unload this by pressing this downward arrow. And then I'm just going to peel this off the mat. And at this point, we can go ahead and store our mat. So put that blue piece of paper back on top. And then I'm just going to turn off my machine and then lightly pull the cover and then drop the cover down. And that is all you have to do to store your machine and your mat and then put it wherever you have it. Yes, yeah, that's a good point. So you would just come up here. Sorry, I'm going to screen share and I turned off the machine, so it's not connected anymore. But to send it for another pass, you would just click the send button again down here. That's all you have to do. You wouldn't change your settings at all. You would just press send again. All right, so Adriana made a good point. She said, I thought since it said auto blade, it would detect the paper and adjust the blade accordingly. So the auto blade just means that it is adjusting automatically, but it doesn't know what material you have in there. It just knows what blade depths to make it when you select what material you're using. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to share one more time. So you always have to select your material up here and then the auto blade does the rest for you. So you just need to tell the computer what material you're using and then it will select the cut settings. So that's what you have to do. Okay. Sandra asked on the blade settings, what is the force setting used for? So the force is how hard the blade is pushing down on your material. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've never adjusted the force on any of the default settings. So I sometimes adjust the blade depth, which is how high or low the blade is in the carriage. But I never adjust the force. And then obviously the speed is how fast or slow. And sometimes if I'm cutting a really thick material, I'll turn the speed down. And sometimes if I'm cutting a lot of the same thing, I'll turn the speed up. But I pretty much only ever changed the blade depth on vinyl from a 1 to a 2. So that's what the force is. And yeah, as Kelly said, it's a very, very slight adjustment. It really doesn't change a lot. So yeah, if you're having trouble cutting through your material, don't go and change the force initially. Try changing the blade depth first. That's going to give you a bigger difference. So now I'm just weeding this, which means I'm taking away all of the pieces that I don't want in my design to reveal the full design. And This reindeer had quite a few pieces, but I actually really like weeding. I think that it's really fun. And I'm using the silhouette hook tool right here. And this does not come with your machine, but you can purchase it from Silhouette, or you can purchase a hook tool from Michael's. They have tons of different options that you can use. And if you don't have a hook tool, I've also used a toothpick before, which is a little bit more difficult, but it actually works better than you might expect. So just make sure you have something that you can use to pull those pieces away. And this cut so well, it's just coming out super, super easily, even these little tiny pieces. And this is like a helpful tip that I like to do. I have my excess vinyl that I didn't use, like a big piece, and I'm just using that to stick my small pieces to. And you will find that the small pieces will stick everywhere if you don't have something sticky to stick them to. If you don't have a big excess piece, you can also get a piece of tape and stick it to that, and that works great as well. All right. All right, and then just while we're reading this, I just want to kind of talk about some of the upcoming classes that we have. Next week, I'm teaching a class that goes a little bit more in depth on the Silhouette software, and that's going to be how to use the Silhouette text tool to add text vinyl to a project. So if you're interested in that, Kelly or Christina can put the link in the bio or in the chat for us, and you can register for that class. And that class is actually going to be pretty simple as well. It's going to be very similar to this class. I'm just going to teach you how to use the text tool in Silhouette Studio to add some words and cut some words instead of the reindeer. And we're going to be putting it on like a little candle holder, but you could use the skills that we're going to learn in that class to add vinyl text to anything. You could personalize like just Christmas cookie boxes or anything like that as well. So that's what I'm going to be teaching next week. And then in January, we're going to be having this class again. And then we're also going to be having a couple other classes. Kelly, do you have another class this month? Okay, so the next class is that text class then, and then our class after that is going to be this class again. So if you want to just kind of join again to refresh, you can do that. And then I'm going to be teaching another class on January 18th. That's going to be about heat transfer. So we're going to be making like a shirt or a tote bag or something like that. And then Kelly is going to be teaching a class on January 25th as well. So those are just some class options if you're interested in learning more about your Silhouette machine and some different projects that you can do with it. So now I took out all of the pieces that we weren't using in our design. This design is so cute. I love it. And I'm going to be using transfer tape now to put this on our easel. So transfer tape is like regular tape, but it's not quite as sticky, and it has a backing to it. And then also it comes in a roll, but it's very much like regular tape, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay this on top of my design so I know where to cut it. And transfer tape is reusable also. So just make sure that you save the backing if you want to reuse it. So I just am separating the backing from the front piece. and then I'm going to set it on top of my design. And I like to push the middle down first and then push towards the outside to avoid getting any bubbles. And then I'm going to take the silhouette scraper tool. If you don't have the silhouette scraper tool, you could use anything that has a hard edge, like a bone folder is I think is what they're called, or a credit card even. So I'm just going to go over the top to stick the vinyl to the backing, or sorry, to the transfer tape. Awesome. Sandra said she is registered for the class. I hope you're registered for next week's class, Sandra. I'm super excited to see you. Hey, that's a good question. So the way that you know which pieces to pick out if you are a little bit confused is you can always pull up your design in Silhouette Studio. And in Silhouette Studio, it's not a solid square, right? We just had the reindeer. So I think the easiest way to know what you need to pick out is to take everything out that's not showing up for you in Silhouette Studio. So you're just going to go ahead and open that up, and then you're going to like leave the eyes, and then this little outline, take everything out that was inside the outline. So when I was starting out, that was the easiest way for me to understand what I needed to leave and what I needed to take away. So I hope that made sense. Mabel, of course we want you to come next week. We'd love to have you. And yes, the class next week is free. So you can go to the Michael's online class website, and you will be able to register there. Or I think it will be posted on the Silhouette social media as well. But if you want to register today, go to the link that we put here in the chat, and you can register right there. Okay, and you guys saw that I just kind of peeled this back slowly. I peeled the backing away from the transfer tape, and I just have found that that is easier to do than to peel the transfer tape from the backing. I hope that makes sense. But just flip it over and then peel the solid piece away from the clear piece. Yes, so Kelly just put that link in the chat too. So go ahead and register for next week's class because it's going to be super fun. Christina, could you actually go and grab the lanterns? I think they're out on the bookshelf. Perfect. And so I can show them. Perfect. So now we're just going to go ahead and take our little reindeer, and then I'm just going to visually center it. We have some little pieces caught right here, so I just want to make sure it doesn't get on those. And I'm just going to visually center it. If you want to center it with a ruler, you're more than welcome to do that. I just pretty much never do that. And then I'm just going to take my scraper tool again, and I'm just going to go over the top. And then we're just slowly going to peel off the transfer tape. And this is the final project. So I'm going to go ahead and move these so I can show them to you for next week's class. But first, I want you guys to see our project that we made today. So there is the reindeer, super cute on the easel. We have a few minutes left. So does anybody have any questions for me in these few minutes? And I also want some feedback. How was this class for you guys? Was it slow enough? Was it too basic? Did it help you guys? So go ahead and leave me some comments in the chat that I can check out. And then I want to show you guys next week's project too. So this is what I'm going to be making next week. So we have Oh Holy Night, the stars are brightly shining. So this is what I'm going to be making next week. But like I said, we're just going to be basically learning how to use the text tool to create text to add in vinyl to any project that you might have, any hard surface project. So if you want to register for that, Kelly put the link in the chat. And if you missed the link in the chat, go ahead and just go to Michael's online classes and you'll be able to register there as well. Perfect. Awesome. I'm so glad that you loved the class. And then Deb says she feels like she can make a cut now, which is super awesome. Jen, I'll see you next week at the class. I'm super excited. It's going to be a super fun class. And then Adriana, I'm so glad that we were able to talk about the blade, because that is a super easy problem to fix, I think. As long as you just check those things that we talked about, I think you'll be good to go. Perfect. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, my name is McKenna Blanthorne. I love teaching these silhouette classes and getting to interact with all of you. And I'm super excited for those of you that registered for next week's class. But go ahead and just pull out your silhouette supplies. And like I said, this is also being recorded and will be posted on YouTube within 24 to 48 hours. So if you forget a couple things or you feel lost, go onto YouTube and you can rewatch this class and pause it and just go ahead and get crafting. So thanks so much for joining us, and I hope to see you guys again. Thanks.